Hello guys and welcome to VoloKin project. Today I'm going to talk about the Xperia 1 Mark III and particularly why I bought one and after just 2 weeks I'm selling it back on eBay. Now first of all I'm going to lay my cards down in front of you and I'm going to tell you why did I even bother buying this phone at the first place. Now as you know me, I've always been using Oppo flagships as daily drivers, the Oppo Find X, the X2 Pro, and now I'm using the X3 Pro. Now I had a few videos on my channel about the Xperia 1 Mark I essentially and the 5, and although I really like those phones, the fingerprint reader issues and the no face unlock were deal breakers at the time, and also the cameras. And unfortunately, so many generations later, still the fingerprint reader is inconsistent, still the cameras are not very good, and still there is no face unlock. So pretty much Sony is doing whatever they like and not particularly listening to their customers while bumping the prices up. So why did I even bother to buy this phone? Well, as you know, I've been filming my videos with my Samsung Galaxy S9 simply because I have manual controls, I have 4K, and I have 3.5mm jack to put my wireless microphones into, so I can have a better audio quality. Now the S9 was showing his age, so I sold it on eBay and I decided to sell my Oppo as well and get one phone as a daily driver, which would serve me the purpose to film my videos every now and then with it as well. So no other phone on the market offers all of that apart from the Sony. So I looked online, the Xperia 1 Mark V is like over £1,000 and like £800 on eBay, so that's definitely not an option. The Xperia 1 Mark IV can be bought for about £350–400 used now at the current UK market of December 2023, and I've read online that it overheats while taking videos and photos, so I was like, no. What's the next best option? Well, the Xperia 1 Mark III. Second-hand prices are about £250–300 for a mint condition unit, so I thought that that's the best option, and I'm not missing much essentially, since the cameras are absolutely the same for the Xperia 2, 3 and 4, apart from the selfie camera, which over here is 8 megapixel and is absolutely abysmal. I'm not gonna talk about that at all. It's just terrible, guys. Now, the other thing which was kind of weird was the lock screen. Now, the default lock screen, if you leave the phone on the default lock screen, the time over here is wrong. It's getting stuck at random times, and I've seen that people have been reporting this issue for generations, and Sony are not fixing that. You have to go through the menu and have to change it yourself to some different clock. At least they have a few options, so no big deal, but something weird out of the box. And talking about the fingerprint readers, this one is very good and accurate when it works. And for example, check this out. You're supposed to just lie your thumb on it like that and it's supposed to unlock, and sometimes if it doesn't, you press it and it gets the job done. The issue is, let me just reduce the brightness a little bit, because that's the brightness that I'm actually using the phone indoors at about 85%. I'm going to reduce it so it would look better on the camera. But nevertheless, the issue is sometimes, check this out, you want to unlock the screen, fine, you lock it, you try to unlock it, and it doesn't unlock the first time. Check this out. And you have to do it twice. So there's definitely an issue in the fingerprint reader. And the other thing is, since I'm right-handed and I use, my right pocket of the jeans to put my phone in, I usually lock the phone like that. And when I put the phone in my pocket, I rest my thumb over here, and sometimes I put it in my pocket and it vibrates and kaboom, the phone is unlocked, which is absolutely ridiculous that it has no detection or anything like that, while this sensor is overly aggressive over here when you try to, rotate the screen like that. So let me go through the other things very quickly. The speakers are really good, and that's one of the few phones that you can actually listen to the speakers at, let's say, 30% volume, and the sound is crisp. It is very nice. However, I have an issue with this, with the earpiece over here. It doesn't get anywhere near as loud as many other phones out there, which makes absolutely no sense since the speakers are powerful enough. So in some noisy situations, that's an issue, guys. Now, dual SIM 12 gigs of RAM, 250 gigs of storage. That's the base version. You have 512 gigs. That is excellent in terms of storage and expandable memory card. Well done, Sony. Now, in terms of the camera, something very interesting over here, guys. You know, we have a triple setup of the cameras. The main camera, contrary to what people say, is actually quite good. I'm gonna come back to that in a second. The secondary camera, the wide angle is not very good, and the periscope camera is not very good as well. And as I said, the selfie is absolute trash. Now, the thing with the main camera is the following. You start the camera with the Sony Camera Pro whatever application. You take a photo like that, and since the phone doesn't have a gallery application installed apart from Google Photos out of the box, you look at the photo like that and you think to yourself like, not many colors, I'm not sure what's wrong with the Xperia, and purists are going to say, well, it's been tweaked to look like a professional photographer, this and that. No, not really. I found out what the issue is. You go to the settings over here, you go to, let me show you. So you go to display, you go to image quality settings, you go to auto creator mode, and ta-da, Photography Pro is in that list, which means that the phone itself applies a particular filter on the camera application to look more natural, where it actually isn't, guys. And the other thing is, you can install any other gallery application. I've installed the new Google, whatever it's called, Google Gallery application or something like that, and photos look just as any other flagship. People will say, well, you can install the Xperia 5 application. It's not the same. It's not the same. The Google camera application port is not working properly. I've tried like 10 different versions, so you can't really rely on that. So nighttime photos and HDR, they're not the same. Apart from that, the photos are excellent. So to be honest with you, I can't really complain too much about the main camera. Now, the Android is pretty much stock Android with a few features, but for example, some stupid things like you know, I'm using the gesture control over here and I can't get rid of this bar. I have to root the phone, I have to install some applications. I'm too old for that. I'm way past flashing kernels and custom software and stuff like that. And surprisingly, when you go to XDA, there's Lineage OS, there's other ROMs available for this phone, simply because the stock ROM, although is good and fast, is not good enough, guys. Which I'm really not going to do. And now the main issue with this phone is the battery life. Oh my god, 4,500 milliamp hours, and sometimes I'm getting 3 to 4 hours of screen on time, which is absolutely abysmal. Now that's an issue. I didn't know that the Snapdragon 888 is such a, I'm really not sure how to explain it, but it gets hot so quickly, guys. Let me get this straight though. In general usage, you're not gonna feel much of a difference. I mean, it's very snappy, it's very quick processor, as you can see over here. However, in gaming, I usually play Wreckfest. Where is it? Let me see. So I usually play Wreckfest on my Oppo, on everything on max graphical settings, no issues whatsoever. You put Wreckfest over here and you have to turn out the settings quite a lot, guys. And literally the phone overheats in about 10 minutes and the game becomes unplayable unless you turn the brightness way down like that, for example, which you can't see much on the screen after that, and unless you start playing with the options to turn the resolution down and the graphical settings and this and that, which is absolutely unacceptable for a flagship phone, for Snapdragon 888. I mean, come on, guys, we had these issues lastly with Snapdragon 808 and 810, which was, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. Quite a long time. And you know, thinking about it, the phone runs on 1080p most of the time, and if it can't handle it, that is a massive issue, guys. Let me show you a few screenshots of the battery life in a second. Okay, guys, so let's have a quick look at these screenshots of the battery life that I'm getting. Over here, no gaming whatsoever, 3% battery left, 4 hours of screen on time. Now the YouTube, you know, it's not correct over here 3 hours, because sometimes you watch a video, you exit the application and it keeps the application running in a bubble over here in the notification, and that counts as, you know, using the application, so that is not correct. So essentially light usage, 4 hours of screen on time. Over here I have almost 5 hours of screen on time with 11% left, which let's say 5 hours of screen on time with Google Maps and Facebook, and pretty much that is it, guys. And now gaming. Wow, check this out, guys. 39 minutes of breakfast and I have 69% left, which is less than 3 hours of screen on time. So realistically, we are talking about between 3 and 5 hours of screen on time, which is ridiculous considering that you have 4500 milliamp hours of battery. And now the other thing that I really don't like is the charging speed. Oh my god, this thing is slow, guys. I know what you're gonna say. Sony is thinking about your battery longevity. They want to use your phone for, let's say, whatever years. Well, okay, but it's not okay. I mean, in my usage, I want to wake up in the morning, see that I have 40% left, plug it in, brush my teeth, and when I come out, I see 85% and I go to work. And with the Sony, I've plugged it in on 40%, I go to brush my teeth and I'm coming to 45, and I'm like, what the hell? That's not good enough. The charging speeds on the Oppo and pretty much all other flagships are pretty much double or triple of what you have in the Sony. For example, on my Oppo that I'm filming it right now, the X3 and essentially the X3 Pro, you had 60, 80 watts, something like that. So essentially you get 50% in like 10-15 minutes of charge, which is excellent. Over here in 10 minutes, you're lucky if you get like 15% or something like that, which is a big issue because nowadays, I can't really think about charging my phone all the time and planning my charges and charging it overnight. I'm not a fan of charging the phone overnight. I think it kills the battery, but that's just my opinion. So I want to be able to plug it in very quickly, get 50% quickly and go, about my day. And unfortunately, you can't do that on the Xperia. And contrary to what you say, maybe when the phone was new 2 years ago, the battery life was good, but you can see a combination of Sony's battery saving, things, optimization, slow charging, whatnot. This battery is not holding well after 2 years of usage, although the phone is literally like new condition. Let me show you very quickly, guys. That's an aftermarket case, by the way, which collects quite a lot of dust, unfortunately. But yeah, check this out. It's a mint condition phone, guys. Most of the phones on the market does not look like that. Check this out. This is a mint condition unit, and essentially the phone hasn't been used much, to be honest with you. So I seriously doubt it is actually 2 years worth of usage inside this phone, and the battery is not good already. So the other thing that people are reporting issues with, as I said, the fingerprint reader over here, and no reception. Something inside the antenna or whatever breaks inside and you have no reception on your phone. So again, a hardware failure on Sony's part. I was told that the original case with the stand that they sell on their website is like 40-50 quid. It's not good, it's cheap. And this thing, the stand breaks, so that's why I got a carbon fiber case from AliExpress for like 20 quid, which serves the purpose excellently. And lastly, there is no charger in the box, and Sony is charging you like 40 pounds or 50 pounds for the original charger. We have to buy separately from them, which is not good. But the worst thing is that not all aftermarket chargers actually work fine with this phone. You have to find one which actually works. My Oppo charger works very well on this one, but an Honor/Huawei charger doesn't charge at all this phone. So just another issue. So overall, I use the phone for 2 weeks. I can, put up with the positives and the negatives of the camera. I love the speakers, I love the design and the premium build. I love the screen. Essentially, it's been like that for 5 generations, but nevertheless, it's one of the best screens on the market right now. I love the performance, I love the storage, but the poor battery life and the poor charging speed and the overheating and unable to play the essentially only one game that I play right now is a deal breaker for me, guys. The price is not too bad, 250, considering it was close to £1,000 when new, so I can't really complain about that. But yeah, if you're looking for an Xperia phone to buy secondhand right now because you don't feel like spending 1,000 on the Xperia 1.5, Well, it's between this one and the Xperia 1 4, to be honest with you. Maybe the 4, maybe the Snapdragon Gen 1 is a little bit better in terms of overheating, because this one is pretty bad. Maybe the 12 megapixel selfie camera is a little bit better than the absolutely useless 8 megapixel, and maybe the battery life is a little bit better with 5000 milliamp hours versus 4500. So probably, I haven't tested it, but probably the Xperia 1 4 makes more sense to buy, guys. And I really, feel bad that actually I'm selling this phone right now, because I really wanted to like it and to be my two-in-one phone, but unfortunately that is not the case, guys. Well, this is the case, but yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next video soon-ish, I guess. Yeah, see you later.